Guys, I was so excited about this helm skin when it was first teased. I love the theming. I love the nightgown, outfit that she has going on here. It's so unique. You don't really see that in a lot of waifu gacha games. So seeing that in Nikke on one of my favorite Nikkes, I was absolutely in support for. Despite this being a gacha skin, and if you guys know me, you guys have watched my videos, you would know I am not a big fan of the gacha skins. I think they're very overpriced for what we get. Especially the content they deliver to us is usually not worth it for the $60. However, I was willing to betray my principles for once to buy the skin for Helm, just because I was absolutely in love with the front view. And there's a lot of positives I have for this front view, but unfortunately with a lot of these positives, there's probably an equal or even more amount of negatives I have for this outfit. So guys, this will be a full review of Helm's gacha skin. Should you or should you not buy? And hopefully by the end of this video, you guys will be able to make your own decision on whether or not you feel it's worth buying this gacha skin. And I imagine some of you guys will probably already have an opinion right now. You guys already know that whether or not you'll be buying the skin or not. So let's go ahead and get started here. First of all, I've already kind of mentioned, some of my negative opinions. Let me go ahead and start off with some positive opinions here, because like I said, a lot of positives in terms of the front design here. I think the front design, they did a really good job. I have really no issues with it. Lots of fan service going on here. They gave her like this nightgown, like I said, very thin nightgown. You can actually see her tummy showing through, skin showing off. Her cleavage is on display here. She's still kind of soaking wet from the bath. I like that a lot. Her legs are really shiny too, especially her left thigh. They could have maybe have thickened up her thighs just a bit, or maybe it's just from the position they I guess illustrated her at or designed her at, but they could have maybe thickened up her thighs just a little bit more, but that's such a little issue. It's not that major of an issue. But guys, they really nailed like this front design. Like, she looks absolutely gorgeous, and one thing I really like about this design is this animation here. So when you click on her, she blushes and splashes water at you. I like that a lot. I like that little interaction. It's kind of a connection between us, the player, and Helm. You don't really see that with a lot of the Nikke skins or Nikke designs in general in terms of like interacting with them. But with Helm here, she kind of blushes, she's a little startled, and then splashes some water at you playfully. I like that a lot. It's a fun little touch. And then continuing on here, we could go ahead and talk about her frontal combat view. Frontal combat view also very strong here. Cleavage is on display. Her thighs are definitely showing off the thickness a lot better from this position, so I'm a big fan of that. It's a lot of emphasis there, which again, I'm always for. Especially on a character like Helm, where Helm definitely has some really nice thick thighs. And, the towel is still around her, so good consistency there. However, this is kind of where a lot of my positive comments regarding this outfit kind of end. So let's go ahead and talk about the negatives. So I went ahead, flipped her around, and some of you guys will probably already understand what I'm talking about. So in terms of like this backside view, the cake area, they covered it up, and that's not even the biggest issue here. Of course, I would have preferred if they, maybe made the, the dress a bit shorter, so you could at least have like half of the cake showing off a bit, like this bottom half. I would have been, pretty okay with that for sure. But that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue is not only did they cover up the entire cake view, but they made it really blurry, and they added this really awkward shadow. Doesn't really make any sense whatsoever, because we know she's got like pantsuit under there. So it makes zero sense for like this really strange shadow to be showing up, and the fact that this again, it's barely transparent. We can see a bit of the skin showing through, but it's so foggy for some reason. And here's really the thing that like really kind of upset me about this. I was like, okay, whatever. But then I thought about, wait a minute, is this a Maid Privity situation where Maid Privity, they intentionally covered up the back view of her skirt, but then in her chibi model, they had a pantsuit view completely. Like, they lifted up the skirt and the pantsuit was on full display. The cake was on full display. And I was thinking, no, they wouldn't, do that same thing here, would they? So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the chibi model. From the front, looks really good. I can't believe I'm having to do a review on the chibi model, but here I am. The chibi model does look good from the front. Lots of fan service here. It's really transparent, actually. Even the chest looks like it's being shown off even better here. That's crazy. And I like the really sharp blush here. It's very prevalent. I like that a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and flip her around, guys. Guys, explain to me what's going on here. Why does the chibi model have more fan service than the actual 2D model? I just can't comprehend it. I need someone to explain to me, the rationale behind why, like, this is a chibi model, but the pantsuit is on display here. The cake is showing off. The skirt, like the dress, is intentionally lifted up. It makes zero sense for me what happened between the 2D model and the chibi model here. Are these different designers of different visions, and they didn't really communicate on how they were going to portray like the bottom parts of Helm here? What went wrong, between these two designs here? Again, and I should go back to this view here because I forgot to also show off the jiggle animations here. There is a decent amount of jiggle. You guys could actually see it. It's not terrible. It's about the same as regular Helm, so that's at least a decent point. So I guess that's kind of a positive. Yeah, it's pretty solid jiggle for the most part. But let me go ahead and show you guys Cinderella's gacha skin for a second. So Cinderella's gacha skin had a similar issue, not her collection item. I don't know why I went there. So let me go ahead and go to her gacha skin. And with Cinderella's gacha skin, despite her wearing a dress, it's very transparent. You could see the cake showing through because of how thin the dress material is, especially in that part of the her outfit. And you could actually see, the pantsuit view as well. Very, very strong. Good amount of jiggle happening here. And this is a skin I was very harsh on when I first saw the skin. I was like, oh wow, it's such a downgrade from base Cinderella. However, once I saw that, I thought, okay, actually there's still a lot of fan service they maintained here. I'm actually kind of impressed. With Helm here, I was definitely not as critical on Helm as first, but as I continue to, play around here with Helm and, take closer looks, I'm really, I'm kind of sad about, how she ended up turning out because I was so excited for her, but it ended up turning out like this. And guys, it's just such a massive downgrade. And like they could have delivered so much better, guys. So again, that's really just my opinion. Maybe for a lot of you guys, it may not be an issue. Maybe you're like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Rook. Looks completely fine to me. But I don't know. I feel like they could have done so much better, especially considering that. Let me go ahead and compare it to her other costumes, actually. So this is her base outfit here. So this is base Helm. This is the Helm you just simply pull from the banners here. Good amount of jiggle, and despite this outfit, not being transparent whatsoever, the cake is really emphasized here. Like, it's really because of how tight the shorts are, you can see the cake kind of popping out, which is really good, especially for a base design and one of the original base designs. I believe Helm was actually the first banner unit in NIKKE, so that was really interesting to see. But then, sorry guys, I have no idea where I'm going. I'm going over here. So this is her chandelier dress outfit here, and even with this skin over here, this is a $20 skin. Not as transparent, yet the cake is still emphasized here. Like, what went wrong in the design translations? I'm genuinely so confused. And then when I compare this to our other Helm here, so this is Aquamarine Helm. This is her summer alt design here, and with her combat animation, they were still able to show off, the swimsuit underneath here. They intentionally made the shirt see-through, at least for the combat view. They have the cake actually kind of drooling a little bit, so it's showing off quite a bit as well. So they still were able to give this costume lots and lots of fan service. Besides the fact that the front view at first glance doesn't have too much fan service going on here, but once you get to the combat view and actually interact with the costume, lots of fan service going on once again. But seeing Helm over here, this gacha skin, again, $60 gacha skin. I have to emphasize that because that's a lot of money, guys, for a gacha skin or for any type of skin in a game. It's a lot. And the fact that this animation has less fan service going on, I don't know. I mean, at least this backside is probably the proper term. The backside has less fan service than a chibi model of the same costume. I don't know, guys. That's just me. I really want to love this costume. Guys, let me go ahead and talk about the skill animation now. In terms of the actual skill cutscene, it actually is pretty solid here. So, of course, we have Helm bathing. She's covering up her chest. Lots of lighting going on here. I think they went a little too overboard with the lighting. They could have lessened that a little bit. I get that they were trying to censor the design. I completely understand that. But they could have maybe, a little bit less light. I don't think they needed to do that much light. But maybe they're trying to play it safe. I don't know. So, overall, solid skill cutscene. Is it worth $60 though? I don't know about that, considering I can name a lot of other skill cutscenes in NIKKE that are much better. that I don't cost money. D-Wife comes to mind, Summer Rosanna, Summer Sakura, Twinkling Bunny Soda. I think those are a lot better, and I'm not paying, money for those skill cutscenes. Now, in terms of, do I recommend the Helm Gacha skin? And guys, deep down, I genuinely want to recommend it. I'm a massive Helm fan. I'm a massive fan of Helm being in a nightgown, so the fact that I can't comfortably recommend this skin, it's kind of saddening to me. I had such high hopes, and that's probably where I went wrong, where I kind of had a little too high expectations. But I feel like they were pretty reasonable. Come on, some fan service views from the backside. We have it with some Nikkes. Why can't we have it with a $60 gacha skin? Come on. But at least that's just my opinion. However, if you're someone who is a massive Helm fan, you are considering heavily buying this gacha skin, don't let me stop you for sure. Listen, if you feel like it's worth the $60, you don't have the issues I have with the backside, you love the skill animation, you love the fact that Helm is in a nightgown, you're completely satisfied with what you're getting here, listen, I think you're completely okay with buying the gacha skin. I definitely see that in the community where some people get really upset with others for buying the gacha skin, but hey, at the end of the day, if you love it and it makes you happy, go for it. Don't let anyone else stop you from that. It's just, for me, I tend to be really critical if costumes don't have the amount of fan service I expect. So for this costume, I'm being pretty critical because I generally wanted a lot from this costume, and unfortunately it just didn't meet my expectations at the end of the day. But guys, that's really it for the video. You guys heard my opinions. Hopefully you were able to make your decision on whether or not it's worth it. Guys, I'm only a couple subscribers away from 1K subs, so if you're interested, definitely subscribe to the channel for more NIKKE content. Like the video if you found it informative, and definitely leave a comment down below. Tell me, are you guys buying the costume or are you guys skipping? Definitely let me know. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.